This has got to be fucking expensive. I can feel it. Self-hosting is based. We're going to talk about where it starts, where to start, what you should do, how I got into it, how you should get into it. The issue, I guess not really the issue, I guess like the fear of people getting into self-hosting and trying to figure out where to start. You know this motherfucker. You know this motherfucker expensive. And the thing is, people are like, you have to like get this powerful server, you have to get this powerful, like, you have to run TrueNAS, you have to, you know, you don't. I ran mine on a Dell T10 server with 16 gigs of RAM, and I ran it on Western Digital. You need to Fedora, like Linus Torvald. Use Fedora. I thought he would use Debian. I saw that that video popped up. I wanted to watch it because it looked awesome. Fedora consumes too much RAM and it's too slow. Yeah. You should be using Alpine Linux for your servers if you want it, the maximum. The maximum. So I got into essentially to self-hosting by accident because I got into Linux, and because I got into Linux, I was like, oh, what can I else still do with Linux? I can run a server, and I bought a server like dirt cheap and started putting like I put Proxmox. First, I put Ubuntu on it. Alpine, one of the BSDs are best for server. True. I put what do you call it? Proxmox. Second on it. I first started with just straight Ubuntu server, and I was like, well, what if I want to do more? I came across Proxmox, and I have TrueNAS right now, and I'm running into a lot of permissions. I only use 2 gigs of RAM, but have 64. 2 gigs, bloat. I ended up doing Proxmox with TrueNAS, and TrueNAS has a lot of permission issues that I don't like running into. To be completely honest, it's more complicated setup than I really need it to be. TrueNAS is great, and I like it. I'm going to use it as a backup. I'm going to use it as a backup server, like where I'm just going to back up everything and host some things directly on it. But the problem is, there's not a lot of just NAS devices that are being sold on the market today. This stream is taking 2 gigs of RAM of that. That's fair. YouTube's bloat. I think I just found something you can watch videos from the terminal. Where did I see this before we... No, it's like something new I found. God, that was annoying. I guess that's not really watching it. Someone took like a video and put it directly in the terminal and just started fucking playing. It's interesting. Maybe I'll find it one day. I need to get this. But I digress. Back to the point. I got it down to 127 used by closing Discord and Element. Yeah. How can you debloat YouTube? Let's find a way. What about Invidious? A lot of stuff doesn't work, and they constantly have to fight with YouTube. So like API changes, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. MPlayer could do BT. I don't know what BITD is, to be honest. So, awesome self-hosted. I've used this. I love it. I use this in alternative too. But what is self-hosting? Self-hosting is a few things. So we're going to pull up Notepad because I'm never doing whiteboard again. Can I use this Notepad on... do I have a Note app? Online Notepad. Obviously, I don't care what's written here. So first thing is, what is self? Did I hear beer noises? Yeah, beer noises. So first, what do you need to? What is the goal? What is the goal? What is your threat model? What is in your wallet? Capital One. Please don't sue me. And then this more goes like, what's in your threat model? What is the goal? What is your threat model? What is in your wallet? Capital One, please don't sue me. The goal should be, what can you replace? Another question. Not only what can you replace, what can you back up? I'm tired today, so see ya. Later, Billy. What is your threat model? What is pretty much the law? What is the law? And then what is in your wallet? What is the cost? Cost of self-hosting, because everyone talks about like the technical technical difficulties. If you can read a documentation, if you can copy commands, if you can really just have a fucking above average reading, not even if you have a reading level above like 10th grade, even 5th grade, are you smarter than the 5th grader? Jeff Houtsworthy, please don't say me. You can self-host. Anyone can self-host. From a technical perspective, some people would not be able to do it from a legal perspective, but anyone can self-host from a technical perspective. You can self-host. Your neighbor can self-host. The 15-year-old down the street from you can self-host. Your grandma can self-host. Self-hosting is one simple thing. And we got to ask that question. What is self-hosting? Self-hosting is taking the ability of what you would consider a cloud provider or another company or whatever, and you just do it yourself. It's self-explanatory. Take a shot every time I say the word self or self-hosting. So, first, what is the goal? What can you replace? What can you back up? Because this is important. What is your threat model? What is the law? I mean, preferably not break the law, I guess. What is in your wallet? What is the cost? It has a cost. Everything has a cost, whether it's time or money. Anyone can self-host. And then you got to ask the last question, maybe the first question or last question. What is self-hosting? So self-hosting is pretty much the ability to self-host. I mean, my answers aren't really relevant because everyone's going to have a different use case. But the average user should come to these conclusions. If your threat model is run from government, turn off the internet. Just kidding. It's a joke, guys, because I think those people are fucking lame. So the first is, what is your goal? Your goal should be very simple. Not only what you're trying to replace, but what do you see yourself hosting for XYZ? Like, 10, 15 years. How long have you had that? A good question to even ask yourself again is, how long have you had a service for? Like, if you think about, how long have you had Google Photos or Proton Photos or Pinterest Photos or whatever service? Think of the average user. So I think the average user only cares about a few things: their photos, their text, their media, like their movies, besides their photos, like their media, like their movies, music. I'm just going to put movies. And social media, but that's harder. Now, we can put this in its own bracket. What do these cost? These generally are free or cost something, or they do have a cost. Google Photos is generally free, and there's generally other things that have a cost. Like Google will give you like 15 gigs of storage for free. Apple will give you like 5 gigs. Who else? Like all these services, email will give you like a gig. Oh, and then people probably care about email. But I'm going to just put this as a disclaimer. Do not self-host your email. All the problems with email arise with a company, arise with self-hosting. You don't own the hardware, doesn't really fucking matter. Where if you host it with some random chud in a different country, you don't know what they're doing. You don't know if they're looking at your emails. You don't know if they've compromised your email server. I mean, there's a lot of problems also with hosting your own email server. Getting blacklisted is pretty easy. Sending emails is pretty easy. I mean, there's just I think it's, in my opinion, for 99.9% people, not worth it. Find a reputable email that's been tried in court and has good policies, open source preferably, respects your privacy, and I hate to say it, probably charge you because they need to make money. If they can't make money, then how else will they make it? Do I have suggestions of what email provider to use? Not really, because I think that's a slippery slope to kind of be on. There are some things, I mean, I could give like 5 suggestions and you can pick it yourself, but maybe you should just do your own research. I have my reasons I use my email provider. I use Tutanota is because it meets a subset of idealistic and realistic expectations I have from an email provider. So your mileage may vary. Proton's fine. I think there's some other options out there that are fine. You just got to take that into consideration because you quite literally could just be told to do something and then it might not meet your expectations and then you just waste a bunch of time and money. Media, movies, music, social media. I think this is sums up everything. We only like skim through like the fucking like 5 to 10 apps. So there's also besides what threat model do you have? What scale of and I think this is kind of hard, but passwords is probably should be here. More people are probably using password managers than before, but probably not at the same time. But I'll just put it on there. So what scale? This is probably under the threat model. This will be the technical. And I would say that what scale of hosting do you want to do? On-prem or in the cloud? That you pay for, obviously. This is a big caveat. Because it's not a problem to put something in the cloud as long as you're paying for it and you're actively using it. And you have root access and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And this will tie down to your threat model. So we're going to get into some very good, awesome self-hosted options out there. Look at how big this list is. It's fucking huge. It's massive. So you have analytics, you have archiving and digital preservation. I do this. It's awesome. I love it. I like data archive. You have automation. You could automate anything. You could automate a lot of stuff in your house. Lazy librarian. Oh yeah, I think this might be a boomer thing. Books / ebooks. So back to the list. We're going to get to the hardware in a second. So this is probably where you should start. Your backup software. This is huge. If you don't have good backups, this is going to be an awesome sysadmin backups. Awesome sysadmin is for system administrations. People that kind of like do this for a living, but you can still do this at home. They have automation, they have backups. So there you have a plethora of backup options. You have Backup Ninja, a lightweight, extensible meta backup provides centralized way to configure and coordinate many different backup utilities. You have Backrest, you have BearOS, you have Bearmin, you have Borg Backup, duplicating, archiving with compression and authenticated encryption. That's important. Uses Python. Boo. You have Burp, you have DAR, you have Duplicati. That's a big one. Backup client that securely stores encrypted incremental compressed backups on cloud services and remote file servers. So pick up a backup solution and just do it. There's Restic, an easy, fast, verifiable, secure, and efficient remote backup tool. There's ReSnapshot, Shield, Your Backup, client server, open source network backup for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. You have tons of options. So now we're going to just go to a diagram. This is I'm going to spend kind of like a few minutes on this because I did not understand this. At all when I first started getting into self-hosting. I'm just going to discard this. So let's say you have 1, 2, 3. So you have your PC. We're just going to call this PC. You have your phone. Let's say your phone. And then you have your server. And the server could be anything. And then you have the cloud. I would say this could be your offsite backup. We're going to get that to a second. So I would say probably you would want to back your PC and your phone straight as an arrow. So you would want to back up your PC and your phone to your server. That's one copy. Now there's something called the 3-2-1 copy. The 3-2-1 copy is 3 backups, 2 different formats, 3 copies, 2 different formats, and 1 offline location. Now you could do this in a couple of ways. The first part, the offline location. Remember, RAID is not a backup, as Tom Lawrence would say. So you have your PC, you have your phone, you're picking up your backup software. There's tons of ones that do it automatically, consistently. Command line program to sync files directly to and from different cloud storage providers. You got rclone, you got Proxmox as a backup server. Is enterprise class client server backup solution that's capable of backing up virtual machines, containers, and physical hosts. Super awesome. Borg is really cool if you really want a duplicating archive with compression and encryption. Space efficient storage, backups, secure authentication, encryption, compression, mountable. Backups with Fuse, easy installation on multiple systems, free software license, free BAS license, backup by a large archiving open source community. Always check your backups. And we'll get into that in a second. So this is pretty cool. That's 6 minutes, 7 minutes. You can go watch that if you want. I've heard good things about Borg. I've heard Duplicity's good, Archive, all of them are good. It's just, where are you backing up? You should probably do this at a consistent time frame, consistently, all the time. You do this, you will not have to worry about your backups. But here's the issue: backups need proof of work, meaning that you need to prove that they work. An untested backup is not a backup. Say the data is corrupted, say you misconfigured something. So as long as you do a couple, like make 3 copies of this, delete your system and restore from a backup to prove that it works. And then this is where snapshots come into. So snapshots are not a backup, but they're a safe way to make an oopsie, but you can roll back. So do a snapshot, make sure you have a couple copies, and back up from there. And obviously don't do this with very sensitive, very needed data. And then we're going to get into something called S3, and there's so many different types. So you could do this, or you could do this. This is going to be your friend. Your friend's house. If you have them. Linux users generally don't have friends. They just have internet people. Now, you could do, your server is your central hub. You should send everything to your server. Oh, there we go. Okay. So your first option, you have your PC, you have your phone, you have them on, I would call maybe a constant maybe let's say like 1 week backup every week. And these are both doing it at the same time. They are constantly backing up to each other. There we go. That one's going to be a bitch. I'm going to do that and that. You guys kind of get the point. And then do this and that. You get the point. So 1 week backups, your PC backs up, your phone backs up once a week to the server, and you have a couple options. You can take the server and back it up to your friend. Say your friend has a NAS, like Synology or QNAP or any of the other NAS providers we're going to go over in a few minutes. You could send them. You could pay your friend like $10, like whatever it costs in electricity a year. Obviously, make sure they're encrypted so that your friend doesn't just fucking like go through it and they don't have access to the password or anything. And this is, or a family member, friend or family member or whoever. You want to make sure that they cannot access these files. They don't even know these files exist. And if you want, you should possibly use self-encrypting drives. If the platform supports it, self-encrypting drives are much more secure, just in case it gets raided or whatever, and someone tries to steal the data, or their house gets fucking raided by someone, and they're like, "Ooh, a hard drive." Now, obviously, not only this is a level of trust, this is only really two places. This is only like, boom, your friend, which they could move, their house could get flooded, etc., etc. So I would say for a hybrid solution, for just the average user, and make these files small. Do not do like your media, like your fucking movies or like your music. Do like password managers, like password manager keys or something. Very important stuff that you obviously encrypt, and you put it in these two places. Now, this is a cloud provider. And you might even say, like, FBI honeypot, Frank, why would you do this? Why would you put it in the cloud? Well, if it's encrypted, it doesn't fucking matter. As long as you're picking reputable, good encryption, it's almost irrelevant. Because these cloud providers are generally not going to go away. Now, there's going to be a few. I'm not going to say which one to pick because it's up to you at the end of the day. You got to think about how much data are you using, how much data you're using, how much are you backing up, ingress fees, postgress fees, storage fees, balls fees, all this other shit. So you might charge your friend you might give your friend like $50 a year to run this. Like, hey, I'm going to give you just $50. Don't even think about it. It's not going to touch your internet. You can even help them set up like a VLAN to keep it all separate so that they don't fear anything, or a family member or whoever, friend or family. Be like, hey, can you put this server in your house? I'm going to give you $50 a year. Don't think about it, kind of thing. Just keep it running at all times. Make sure that it's running. And then we'll get into the hardware, etc. in a second. But this should be your optimal solution. And I would say even your server should maybe back up to one more spot. I would do this for, again, an inexpensive device that where the storage doesn't really matter, but obviously you don't want to fill it consistently. Your server should back up to one more location. And this would be, a lot of them support it now, a flash drive. Hard drive, HDD, SSD, whatever. Flash drive, another NAS. And you're going to take this and you're going to fill up to whatever amount, and then you're going to put it off-prem because you don't want it to be there. Like, put it in a storage vault, shipping, what do you call it? One of those fucking storage containers, your bank, anywhere else. Keep it on you. Put it in your bag. But this is like, maybe like every like 4 weeks. Oopsies. Can I reverse that? Okay. Maybe every 3 weeks. This could be every, like, maybe 3 months. You back up to this flash drive or hard drive or SSD, preferably, if it supports it, encrypted drive. And then back up the important stuff on an encrypted backup, zip file, whatever, stored in here, take it with you. That would be the most ideal. Then you have multiple backups, etc., etc. Now, if you're running the based operating system Graphene OS, they have something called Seed Vault. Seed Vault allows you to kind of it does encrypted backups, but it's not perfect. It's kind of shitty, and I've used it from my personal experience. It's not ideal, and it is pretty shitty. I don't like it. I've used it. I'm not a fan. So, in terms of notes, we're just gonna, just so people can maybe follow along. Have multiple backups, preferably the 3. You can go farther than 3, 2, 1. This is just a standard. 3, 2, 1. Pretty much encrypt all your backups. And then, most importantly, test your backups. Do snapshots. And most importantly, RAID is not a backup. And snapshots is not a backup. I have had snapshots fail from experience. So let's get to the hardware part. Because this list alone is, well, we'll get to the hardware section in a section. You do have some other options. You have automation. You have something called distributed file storage systems like S3. Like, that's really cool. It's like its own thing. Where is it? You have cloud computing. We'll get into cloud computing and some options that I have used, but there's booking and scheduling, calendars. I mean, you shouldn't really fucking have Google Calendar. You should just use something free and open source, and you can get a CalDAV server set up really easy. I would say even a CalDAV server like Edisync. Edisync is huge. I love Edisync. It's end-to-end encrypted. It's local. I use it all the time to sync my contacts, my calendar, across all my profiles, no needed, and I use it all the time. I love it. Bookmarks. This is something that I'm going to go over, something that I use. I use LinkedIn. Very minimal. I love this. It's minimal. It has tagging, username, password, metadata, bulk editing, multi-user, REST API, low maintenance, browser extension that actually fucking works, archiving, import, export, customizable. I fucking love it. It's great. It's probably I would fucking be lost. I don't think my browser needs my bookmarks. I can self-host that. Contacts, CalDAV. I use, for a while, I used something else. I used, I can't remember. I think I used this. I didn't like it. I like Edisync. Edisync is great. I don't even know why it's not on here. Communications. There's so many up there. There's Mumble for Discord people. There's Notify. One time, you can actually run your own notification server to run push notifications for Matrix. It's super awesome. I like it. You can run your own Matrix server if you want. Super chill. There's email. You can run your own email forwarding service, and then there's email options, but I would not recommend that at all, in my opinion. I've looked into running my own email server. I kind of set one up, and it was just not fun. There's IRC. There's SIP. So you can run your own SIP server. Completely possible. There's Asterisk for IPBBX. If you want to run your own SIP server locally, you can. It's very easy, actually. Video conferencing. Big Blue Button is sick. I've used it a couple times. I've done Jitsi. So if you want to really just take everything that you are like relying on, whether it's Microsoft Teams or this or this or this, you can self-host it. A lot of these free and open source projects, they let you to. They're like, go ahead, go wild. We don't care. You're doing it yourself, brother. You can do MicroTalk. MiroTalk. I've never used that. I've used Jitsi, and I've done Big Blue Button once. It was kind of interesting. XMPP web clients, you can do it yourself. Content management systems, not really relevant. Custom relate, not really relevant. Now, documents. I run. It's like, why are you trusting all these PDF and document people to do it? There's EasyDocs, there's DocSpell, there's Docs. If you run a business, like, you can self-host a lot of this stuff. I use Paperless and NGX. I scan and index all my paper stuff and archive it digitally. I'm a huge fan of it. And then I use a PDF file. I use something similar to Sterling. It's not on here, I think, yet. It's called Beto. There were some issues that people had with Sterling PDF, and they kind of said, you should check this out. I like it. There's Kiwix. It's a Kiwix server. Kiwix is cool. You can actually run the entire Wikipedia. You can do this on your phone. Again, we're gonna get to the hosting part. It doesn't always have to be on your on a server. You can do you can host this stuff on your phone. Federated identity authentication. I mean, fresh. I have an RSS feeder that I self-host. I love RSS. RSS is great. This is probably my favorite thing to run too. I own the RSS. Then I can get all my news sources and everything. Local RSS, Atom feed aggregator. It's lightweight. It really is lightweight. I'm a huge fan. And you could do. I'll show some software real quick for the people that are like a little sussed. Now, there's file transfer and synchronization. Nextcloud is great. I like Nextcloud. I use it. It's kind of heavy. I use SyncThing, but SyncThing's going through some weird shit that I heard that is not good. So I'd have to look into that. There's file transfer, distributed file systems. That's Harbor, MinIO. They just went source available, and they're kind of being out of touch. So I'm good. This is something called an S3 bucket. It allows you to distribute your file systems in a very redundant way. So we'll go back to here. So we'll just erase this. So if, let's say, we're going to discard. Yes. Cancel. So let's say this is your server. And you need a place for your files to be completely redundant. Like, there's no question. The fuck? Let me see if I can just delete those. So if you need a way to do this, you could, there we go. And then one more. Okay. So if you wanted to do this, you essentially have a min.io server or like 3 different servers, like 3 nodes, and you back up to them and they all replicate across each other. They're all very intertwined. Like very intertwined. Like it's supposed to, this is what S3 is. S3, Mom, can we have an S3 at home? S3 at home. So it's supposed to replicate it across here. We'll even read it. So it's a object storage server compatible with Amazon's S3 API. S3 is completely an open source API standard. You don't need to own it. SeaweedFS is an open source distributed file system supporting WebDAV, S3 API Fuse, and Mount HDFS, optimized for lots of small files, easy to add capacity, like billions of files I think it can handle. This is like, since they went source available, that people are kind of like, SeaweedFS is maybe the standard. There's something called Garage. Garage is kind of cool. So SeaweedFS is an independent Apache licensed open source project that's ongoing development, possible early thanks to supporters. It is pretty cool. You can pretty much do a quick start for S3 API and Docker. Introduction. SeaweedFS stands for started as an object or store to handle small files efficiently instead of managing all files metadata in a central master. The central master only manages volumes on a volume server, and these volume servers manage their metadata. There's only 40 bytes of disk storage overhead for each file's metadata. It's so simple with pretty much disk reads that you are welcome to challenge the performance with your actual use case. SeaweedFS is, you can choose no replication or different replication levels, rack, and data center aware. That's kind of cool. Atomic master server failover, no single point of failure. Automatic gzip compression depending on the file MIME type. Automatic connection to reclaim disk space after deletion or upgrade. Automatic entry TLL expiration. Any server with some disk space can add the total storage space to the total storage space. Adding or removing servers does not cause any data rebalancing unless triggered by admin controls. It's pretty awesome. You can do it with Kubernetes if you're a Kubernetes fan. Kubernetes is pretty based. If you ever want like really sick data compression, there's that. And then I don't know why it's not on here. There's something called GarageFS. It's kind of similar. And again, you can host these up in the cloud. Because you can host them up in the cloud, you could have 3 different cloud providers, have them all connected, and have some redundancy. Self-host as in website? No, self-host as in like anything. You can self-host, you don't have to just self-host a website. You can self-host your own DNS. We're going to get to that. That's actually pretty cool. Where'd it go? Oh, there we go. Nope, just kidding. You can even do your bulletin board. So, conference management. Oh, there's so much to self-host. Database. You have to self-host to control your own days. I would say yes and no. Because there's DNS. You can self-host your own DNS. You can use AdGuard, Blocky, Maza, and ad blocking, Pi-hole, Titanium DNS server. It's an authoritative recursive DNS server with ad blocking functionality. You can host and own your own DNS server. That takes a huge step. Can you post a link to this? Absolutely, yeah. YouTube kind of hates links, so if it disappears, oopsies. Federate, there we go. I don't know how I skipped DNS, but we'll talk about DNS in a second. You can run essentially Pi-hole with Unbound and run your own recursive DNS server that is more private, faster loading, and blocks ads. Yeah, not a problem. So file transfer, Nextcloud. Yeah, besides Nextcloud, OwnCloud, there's Cloud Rev, file management sharing system. There's BrewCloud. There's so many different options. But SeaweedFS, there's Garage. Here it is, Garage HQ. So this is an open source distributed object storage service tailored for self-hosting. This is for self-hosting. This is new. You have to be careful. You can store media, backup targets. So their goal was made it lightweight and keep it efficient in mind, self-contained. We ship with a single dependency-free binary that runs on all edge distributions, fast, deployable. These requirements are insanely low. Disk space at least 16 gigs, network 1 gig, data resilience for everyone. We built Garage to Seer. You can put it on Nextcloud. You can put it on Matrix. You can put it on Mastodon. You can put it on PeerTube. It's awesome. It's very cool. When I was running a PeerTube server, I thought about getting into doing this. Configure to start. Just some ports, some nodes, and then some Docker. I think this is a Docker commands. Build your own app. You can existing integrations. Question: all the privacy, but you're on YouTube, or fam? NextOS PyNAS. You got to be careful. I'm going to answer your question in a second. Elon G7D. Pi is cool. Raspberry Pis are cool, and NASs are cool. The problem is, and the issue is, Pis are extremely slow with data transfers. They have a band. If you don't really care about the data transfer bandwidth limitation, definitely not a problem. Jeff Geerling talks about this quite often. He takes a Raspberry Pi and fucking makes it extend. And to answer your question, Elon, the reason I'm on YouTube is because if I was doing this on PeerTube or any other already privacy self-aware app like Odyssey, Rumble, Gab, or whatever, or BitChute, they already know that YouTube's a shit show and sells your data. People left the platform for a reason. So how am I going to reach an audience of people and convince them to better, safe, alternative platforms? I got to pick the biggest one. In order to take down a giant, you gotta face the giant, kind of thing. And I think that it's better to have bigger reach and reach more people so that they can be self-aware of this, and then move over to better privacy, self-respecting platforms. The main issue is not even just preaching to the choir on other platforms. The reach that those platforms have is relatively small compared to YouTube. I mean, even some of the biggest creators on Kick and Rumble and Odyssey, they don't. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, true, brother. They don't get nearly as much traction. Otherwise, people would jump to it. If Odyssey offered the same amount of traction, I'm not saying that it's not going to happen. It might happen in the future. But the issue is if I'm a content creator and I'm doing this for a living and I get a third of the views and a third of the payout, this is why people should start diversifying their payouts. I don't, why would I post there? And then Odyssey removed the sync feature from YouTube. YouTube, unfortunately, right now pays the most. Twitch pays probably the most compared to Kick. The only people that really make money on those platforms, like Kick and Rumble and all that, I guess it's inherently a dichotomy. Social media reach designed to go to the yeah, it is. It's I've thought about this like long and hard, and I've come to the conclusion that the more I'm embracing people unsubscribing from me and going to better private alternative options that aren't shit shows. I don't like Odyssey though. I don't think Odyssey is making the right the right decision. They didn't incorporate Monero as their payments option. I think that was a shit move. They say they listen to the users and creators, but everyone's been asking for it. And not just the Monero people. A lot of people even that aren't even Monero stands are like, why would they roll out another dog shit cryptocurrency like they did with Library Token that was completely worthless? Everyone said Library Token was worthless and hated it and hated the idea, and then it got them in a lot of legal trouble. And then just to roll out another shitty payment system. So they don't. They're just rolling out shitty payment systems and doing whatever the fuck they want. They don't update their Android app didn't get update until that rolled out, by the way. So you got their app for Android. You were running like a super outdated version. And personally, again, I see big creators on there that have the subscribers. They get still a fraction of the views. So Monero maximalist, then I would say I'm not a Monero maximalist. I just think Monero achieves everything. I think Monero achieves what other cryptocurrencies can't. If there is another cryptocurrency that comes around and achieves beyond what Monero can do, and Monero starts losing its credibility and it starts losing its fungibility and its core principles, then yeah, I would switch to I would then move to that cryptocurrency that fundamentally is doing better. I'm an idealistic person. Zcash, no, not at all. I don't like Zcash. It's privacy. It's not privacy by default. That's my problem. For as long as Zcash has been around, it's only 25% shielded transactions. That's embarrassing. The issue is my ideas are based off principle and core fundamental ideas. When you have ideas that are based on principle and core functions of what something should and should not do, you will not be compromised by the product. You will be compromised only by what it can and cannot do. I will, if someone, like it's like Linux, for example. If Linux started going down a dark rabbit hole and going towards like dystopian what Windows does, I would 100% abandon Linux and just find a better alternative, like maybe Haiku or OpenBSD or FreeBSD or whatever the other or Serenity Linux. I mean, not Linux. Serenity is not based on Linux; it's its own thing. Zcash is fundamentally touting that it's private, but it's not private, and shielded transactions are kind of a joke right now. Ubuntu already gave itself up to Amazon, unless you mean Arch or Gentoo or something. No, I have no issue with companies in Linux. I have no problem with them making money. I have no problem if they want to put proprietary blobs in it. It's their choice. You can fork it and change it fundamentally yourself. I'm talking about Linux as the kernel foundation, the not the GNU part, the Linux kernel itself. Nighttime for me. I'm gonna watch the VOD later. Thanks. Appreciate you stopping by, man. Thank you. Have a good night. Awesome. But if the Linux Foundation itself went rogue and started incorporating things that cannot be removed from the kernel, and the kernel becomes unforkable or source available, and only certain things can be approved, and it went proprietary, I would abandon Linux, because at the core fundamental function, Linux itself, the Linux kernel, is the brains of the operation. It is the most important part. There's a lot of things in Linux you can remove and choose and not choose and use and not use. Like Canonical is a shit show. I'm not disagreeing with that, but so is Mozilla. I mean, I don't like Mozilla. I don't like Firefox. I don't like the direction they're going. They accepted tons of money from Google in order to stay afloat. Their management of their money is terrible. And it's just not a good company anymore. And I don't know why people still use Firefox, but it can be forked. It can be forked, but it's still, at the end of the day, based on Firefox. And still, Mozilla still owns pretty much the rights to Firefox in general. And I think that its benefits don't outweigh what Brave offers me. I mean, Brave did some very slimy, shitty crypto shit. that I don't agree with. They walked it back. They said it was an oopsie. It's retarded. I mean, even the BAT token's retarded. Well, alternatively, you could just accept the fact that there is no way around it, and it might as well lock yourself into one ecosystem, i.e., hiding. No, you could use something different. There's Haiku OS. Haiku OS isn't based on anything Linux. FreeBSD and OpenBSD. You could remove a lot of. You could rewrite, I guess, like your own kernel. You could I mean, it's not impossible to make a better system that's not based on Linux, if that makes sense. It's not impossible. I think people don't realize that, like, I don't think Linux will ever go that way. I don't think the Linux Foundation will do that. But I could be wrong. You know what I mean? So I don't know, it's just, they would have to, the Linux as a whole, the core foundation, the kernel, would have to do a lot for me to jump ship. And I don't think it's going to. Because Linus Torvald is based on, again, not just an idea, it's a principle. When you get stuff that are based on ideas and principles, you can guide your moral compass much easier than if it's just based on you know, what people think they want, etc. So the XMTP and XMR called a day in terms of payment and comms. XMTP. Why am I having a... I'm having a stroke thinking about this. And don't know what this is. Not entirely sure about this. I'd have to look into that. I don't really like protocols, though. Decentralized messaging, basically. Yeah, but I don't like companies that are like... I'm not saying that a company can't do good, but it would have to... I'll be honest, Signal is the only thing that I think is good right now. Session finally Session is finally re-adding back perfect forward secrecy. Holy shit. It's starting to glow now. SMP, I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to look into it. I don't like when people are like this, though. This is hyperbolic. Building chat applications with XMTP. Decentralized messaging. Changing the game. Revolution. It's kind of cringe, but I get it. You got to market somehow. I just don't think there needs to be so many different Web3 God damn, dude. I just don't think that there needs to be this many. SimpleX looks good. It does, but they're making some very silly fucking arguments in the public eye, and they are being silly. If so, they want to use the zero knowledge proof Ethereum machine protocol, Ethereum virtual machine protocol, that's supposed to be zero knowledge encryption at rest. XMPT for like post email world, perhaps not about what you're talking about. I don't think email is going anywhere. I'm going to be honest. Email is super needed. I mean, at least in my lifetime. I don't think email is going away for a long time. I don't think people realize email is decentralized. You can own your domain. You can set up your own email. It's a protocol. Email's got its problems, but I don't think it's going anywhere. I could be wrong, though. I could be 100% entirely wrong. It might be. I don't like to act like I can predict the future and say that something isn't going to happen. I just think signals the standard, in my opinion, when it comes to messaging. Session, it finally did something right. SimpleX is doing, if their technology is sound and the company is just kind of gross, I don't care. Like, the company is the kind of not, I mean, again, Brave did some gross shit. Like, they did some crypto shit I did not like. I thought that was disingenuous. And I will agree that it was fucking retarded. But they are, overall, the concern for me is discussing the usage of OpenBSD or FreeBSD from point of security. Then mobile operating systems have taken over, and the web is running off Red Hat or some. So it's like preparing for world. I mean, OpenBSD and FreeBSD are more secure operating systems. Mobile operating systems are more secure than desktops right now. Android in itself is more secure than the desktop environment because of its sandboxing. I mean, Linux has a ton of security issues because Linux, again, is not homogeneous. GNU/Linux is not a homogeneous platform. Every distro, every maintainer determines and chooses what they think is the secure route. I mean, sudo rs is being rewritten in Canonical because they want to use sudo rs because it's less bloat. Sudo is one of the biggest issues. And because sudo is such a big issue, and it's used, even though there's better options, there's doas, there's run zero, there's just no root at all. Like, you could just do a system with no root. And what makes Android so secure, there was this really promising Linux distro that was made in Canada, but I forgot the name. Oh, okay. You see what I mean, though? Imagine preparing your setup to be on the pure Unix. The world is already like that. Smart wearables kind of obsolete by design, so there must be some compromise. You're gonna make compromises. Like, is a mobile operating system, is a mobile phone as private as a desktop? It depends who you ask. It depends what country you're in. It depends what your laws are on. But by design, actually, mobile operating systems are more secure. And more phones are getting more and more longer term support, so I think we're going to hit a milestone of, like, where they're going to be, like, I can hang on to a Pixel for 7 years. It's going to get all the patches, all the updates, everything. I think the compromise that we got to make is, what do you find? What is your scale of? What is your scale of threat? I mean, some people don't even use a phone. There's big people in the tech space that are like, oh, I don't own a phone. I don't need to. I'm like, cool. Works for you. Doesn't work for everyone. And there are problems with the Unix philosophy system. I mean, I literally lived like Richard Stallman for a week, and I wanted to shoot myself. Right? In my opinion, the end users were at the stage where most people can be on mobile exclusive. So imagine preaching about OpenBSD. It's moot now. So I think ahead you land on things like XMTP, XMR, etc. No, not really. I mean, the point of running free and open source software on your desktop is just user choice. I mean, people are still going to own laptops. Laptops are never going to go away. Desktop gaming, I think gaming's actually at the highest, the peak. More people are building gaming PCs than ever. I think Linux needs an overview and secure. An actual secure rewrite, and it needs to be challenged. At the end of the day, it's it's honestly user choice. If you want to run an insecure system, it should be your choice. I'm always going to defend that. But to say that Linux is secure and private by design, I disagree with it. And that's after a long time of thinking that, and as a long time Linux user. But if you asked me on a personal level, I would pick my desktop over my phone. My phone, I just want it to be secure and work. That's it. And Graphene OS offers that. I'm more comfortable with my laptop and my computer. I mean, if flip phones were actually secure by design, I would fucking use a flip phone. In all honesty, I think it's just more efficient. It's less distracting. My laptop can do everything. I can do everything on my laptop my phone can do almost at this point. State-wise, desktop and laptops have decreased since 2010. Exploit a few years. They're virtually gone, to be honest. Stats-wise, let's see. Well, phone stats don't really... I mean, phones are cheaper now than the laptop, so that's a bad comparison. Desktop use now versus 2010. In the terms of hardware evolution, the only feature where they bounce back is through AI laptops, thus Microsoft's. In contrast, 2000 saw more dramatic shifts, such as the transition from CRT. This is gonna. Oh, look at that! I would have to actually go down this stat rabbit hole and really think about it. Because I think more people are using computers now than ever. Because gaming is competitive gaming is huge. It's a huge industry. People want to be streamers and competitive gamers now more than ever. And YouTubers. And I mean, you could do all your editing on your phone, but I still think laptops aren't going to go anywhere. I would say that phone use will probably, I would actually like it because, again, Android is more efficient. Android is more secure. It's sandboxed. It has better sandboxing. It has better policies. It has SE Linux involved. It's actually mutable. You can't change it. You can't. That's why people are like, I want to root my Android for whatever reason, which is... that's its own conversation. We should practice Simplex when you have the time. Oh, I have a Simplex server. It's in my... If you guys are not aware. My problem is mainly Simplex is doing some goofy shit. If you want to join the Simplex server, it does exist already. There you go. I embrace people to join it. I still think it's fine. If their math works out and their encryption is open source and people are auditing it, I'm not against it. I think they're making mistakes. Groupware, health and fitness. You can run your own fucking health and fitness. Identity management, Internet of Things. You could inventory management. Where's that one? There's one where you can actually use QR code. Shelf. If you are a fucking genius, if you're fucking insane and you're like, I want asset management for physical and digital teams that uses QR codes, you can self-host this bitch. It's super cool. I did it once. Where is it? They let you self-host it too. It's cool. Damn it. I don't know where it's at, but they do let you self-host it. They have a depreciation calculator even. You can self-host this. I'll put it that way. They let you. It's an asset management software used by teams who shelf is it pretty much is an asset database. Finally figured out nice. Yeah, multisig is cool. Multisig is very based. It helps with your backup and everything. I wouldn't self-host email. It's not worth it. There's just way too, unless you don't, and if you don't own the hardware, you don't know what's going on. There's very few things I would host in the cloud, but there's very few things I would not host at all. It's really cool, but most people don't know how to use it. Yeah, multisig is cool. Or even the Shamir backup. Shamir backups are pretty cool too. Like the multi Shamir backup scheme. That's very cool. That's another one that people need to. Knowledge management too. You can actually self-host a lot of this. I use this. It's a privacy personal knowledge management software. TypeScript and Golang. Host web local. Yeah, you can host your website local. Learning courses through you could do through Cloudflare tunnels, but you got to trust Cloudflare, and I think Cloudflare already has enough people's trust as it is. But you could just set up a VPN into your network and just visit it, or you can set up ngrok. Ngrok's another one. It's pretty easy. This is maps. You can do your own maps. Open source routing machine. Medicine, media. So I use Jellyfin. There's Jellyfin. There's LiDAR. There's Medusa. I think these are very important. Very easy to set up. Put your legally obtained media on there. Super easy. Jellyfin's great. I love it. I used to use NB, but then I was like, oh, it's not open source. I'm good. I'm going to use Jellyfin. But it's fine. It's okay if they want to do that. Multimedia streaming. There's Kodi too. There's Icecast too. There's Mist servers. There's so many options. There's Plex. There's Plex users. Plex is cool. And then you have PeerTube. You have Tube. You have VideoLAN client. Two-factor authentication. Here's Anubis is a web AI firewall which protects upstream resources from scraper bots. You can actually self-host this. There's just so many options out there. But we're going to get into the hardware. So if you want the easiest off this self solution, actually we're going to show the easier. We're going to show it in order. There is something called just rent DVDs from the library, rip them, and publish to your own, and push to your own. No, I would never do that. That's illegal. This is not it. Is it Star or Start? I think it's Start. Sovereign Computing. I just buy DVDs. I don't think there's anything wrong with buying DVDs either. And then I think that's what it's called. There we go. I'm human. I promise. See, look, Cloudflare. So these are great. I used to have a big beefy fucking server. So we're gonna get into the software. I mean the hardware side. It's pretty intuitive and pretty easy to understand. So, alright. I didn't want to do the pause thing so that it plays a fucking ad. You can start with this. This is self-hosting. There's no server, it doesn't have to be a fucking server. Get a flash drive, 50 Iron Key Locker plus 50 encrypted USB flash drive. Put everything here. Put your passwords here. You can even do your own password manager here. You can do your photos here, your songs here, everything. This could just be a backup. You can even run movies from a flash drive. I plug my flash drive into my phone sometimes and watch movies that way. Because, if you're ever going into a fucking flight, try VPNing into your network, blah, blah, blah. And if you don't got like a lot of storage on your phone, this is an option. Now, I would go with maybe a 256. That looks expensive. But we're going to look at how many photos can 256 hold. 27 to 85,000 photos. 13,000 at the most. 5,000 at the lowest. So between 33,000 and 128,000 photos. That's a lot. How many movies? $170 movies is a lot. So say you want to do this as a backup. So say you don't want to do a flash drive. You can just do an SSD, baby. You can get an external SSD, 2 terabytes. You will never, that $274 won't even fucking leave. Now there is a terabyte option. This is the Iron Vault Privacy 80 encryption. Extreme fucking giant balls thing, but it's awesome. Or you can do a high performance external SSD. 2 terabytes, that $300, you're never going to spend that. You're going to spend so much money on the cloud. That you can get a 4 terabyte one for $500. That's only, some people spend $50 a month just for cloud service. That's crazy. So you will never use that 4 terabytes for a very long time, unless you're insane like me and you just hoard data. I mean, for the average user, that's so much. Just back up once a week. You got your movies and everything. Carry it with you on the plane if you can. Move on. 4 terabytes is a lot. That's a lot of storage. I mean, you could put everything on your PC. Not portable enough? What do you mean not portable enough? What the fuck? That's very portable. This isn't portable enough? 2 terabytes. Look how, that is extremely portable. You must be smoking some crack, brother. I love it, though. Guys, these are cool. I like these. I like these super flash drives that are very small. I mean, for $30, that's crazy good. You gotta be careful, though. motherfucker out here saying it's not portable. You got foreskin for a reason. And this is just one option. Just pick a SSD that meets your needs. A flash drive, anything. Put it on there. Make copies of it. If it's, you can encrypt different parts of it too. It doesn't have to be the whole fucking thing. You can split it up. This is for movies. This is for my haha funny memes I don't want anyone to see. This is, you can back up your text messages. There's tools to do that, etc., etc. Part 2, Freedom Box. I used this a long time ago. It's awesome. This is the replacement to something called the Pirate Box. I admit, RIP the Pirate Box. There is someone, I think, creating something out there that I found a video for whatever reason. They're like, oh, I love the Pirate Box. I wanted to keep it, so like they made something similar to it. It's very cool. You can make it yourself. It's just an image board, and it was just an image board, chat room or something, and some other stuff and whatever. I mean, it's not impossible. It's not like crazy. Pirate Box. So you can buy one. You can buy this and support the company. People are like, oh, why buy it? I can just make it myself. Of course, they let you, but for $70, that's awesome. And it's got a cute little logo on it. And it's for people that just aren't technical, like they don't want to do it. It comes with decent features, 1 gig of DDR RAM. Obviously, making it yourself, you're going to get more value out of it. So that's why they allow you. So for the cucks, they're always like, oh, that's too expensive. Well, make it yourself. Don't know what to tell you, buddy. So you can do a file and snippet. So you could run all these apps. Say you build a beefy, sexy server. Beefalicious. You get a lot of apps. Like, what else do you need? You have photo organizer, you have transmission, you have SyncThing, you have share, you can run Tor, you can run a Tor proxy, you can run Roundkeep, which is the email client, you can run a Radical server, an RSS bridge, Samba. There's more, I think. Or did they slim it down? VoIP helper? I don't know what the fuck this is. Wow, it's a turn and stun server. That's awesome. You can run a personal notebook, a simple Git hosting, I2P, wiki and blog. You can blog everything and wiki it, video room, chat client. You can run your own matrix server. You can, so this is very easy pick and play. They even have an email server in it. You can do a postfix, Freedom Box, with a Dovecoat and Respawn emails. You have your own email server. It's very easy to set up. All services certified are renewed every 3 months. If you have the ability to run this and your fucking shit ISP doesn't block your fucking what do you call it? Doesn't block port 25 or your SMTP ports or IMAP ports or POP3 penis ports. Yeah, you're good. Then you can deal with fucking email. Bookmarks, RSS, TidyWiki, SyncThing. This used to have a lot more apps, but I think they probably slimmed it down maybe. BitTorrent web client, Deluge based. Very awesome. Okay, gonna head off to sleep. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Get good rest. Based, actually. Super cool. Appreciate you joining the stream. Remember to argue in the comments of what is the best banana bread recipe. Gabi server. I don't know what the fuck this is. Infinite collaborative text edition with Gabi? That just sounds weird. I don't like that word. You can do a Jabbered. You can do a Jabbered chat server. EXMPP. Is a chat server where they use the extensible bus program XMPP. Based. And you can use voice and video call over it. Offline key weeks. You can do WordPress. Just tons of options. So then you have, we're going to block that. You have Umbrel. Umbrel's great. If you're into Run on Flux is decentralized cloud. Yeah, Run on Flux is cool. I think it's interesting. My only issue with it is I don't like the cryptocurrency part of it. I wish they would have. I know they're not. I've listened to their fucking podcast with him, and he's like, "We're not really based on crypto." It's like, you could have picked something else. I don't. But I do like that it exists. I do want to test it out someday, if I get some time. I don't like putting stuff in the cloud. We're going to get to that in a second. Cloud providers, essentially. So, what do we learn? First, anything can be self-hosted on. We're going to call this the learning section. Anything can be self-hosted on. A flash drive is self-hosting. You keeping everything on your phone and not going into the cloud is self-hosting. There's Android applications that you let run servers in the background. Androids can run servers. You can use Tmux. You can use an old Android phone. Probably not the best, but, it's there. My favorite disappointment and love, Sirax. I do love it. But I would like to check out Flux one day. But we have Umbrel. We're going to go to sovereign computing in a second. You want the simplest thing? Go buy a random Raspberry Pi. Get the highest amount of RAM that you can and storage you can, maybe 4 terabytes. App Store, plug and play. You can do a Nostr relay. You can do a Monero relay. You can do NAN. You can do Notes. You can do Samurai. You can do Ghost Portfolio. You can do PhotoPrism. You can run a Firefox server for syncing. Nextcloud, Tailscale, we're going to get into Nextcloud in a second. Sphinx Relay, Bitcoin Node, Lightning Shield, Balls, Gay, whatever you want to do. You got tons. I mean, the App Store is huge. Overseer, Tailscale, you could fresh from the oven. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what half these are, but they're just good. Open source file transfer, minimalist document archiving platform. Invo, self-host invoicing without the bloat, which we do hate bloat in this house. An intelligent way to organize tasks and chores. Think dashboard, a lightweight bookmarked server. You can. There's so many apps. I mean, I've been using Umbrel for a very long time. This is much more polished. They got Homebridge, Rootkit. Roki, whatever the fuck that is. Portainer, you can do Portainer. Portainer's fucking balls great. For people that are allergic to doing it via the command line, you can just do Portainer. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being allergic to even the command line. Just do it. Doing it shows that you have the technical ability to do it and you want to learn and do it. There's a lot of times I don't touch the command line. I don't need to. I don't need to fucking configure special shit. I'm a man of culture. I'm simple. Then there's sovereign computing. This is another option. You can self-host any hardware. You can buy their pre-made hardware if you want. This is a really cool person. I've listened to them in an interview. An interesting lad, I would say. Their servers are kind of expensive. In my opinion, they're kind of overpriced for what they do. The same thing with fucking Umbrel. But for people that don't want to do this, and they get a purchase includes a lifetime membership to Star9 support. That's awesome. They have apparently really good support, so that's what you're paying for. They're putting it together. It's a Ryzen 7. That's pretty good. 32 gigs of RAM. That's pretty good. It's not overpriced in comparison of what you could get. Their apps are a little bit smaller, but that's not the point. Where is it? Their app list isn't as big, but that doesn't mean anything. marketplace is you can actually run your own SimpleX server relay on here. So they have Alby Hub, Lightning Terminal, Ride the Lightning, a lot of Lightning stuff. Bitcoin Core, Jam, which is a friendly node for join market, and fast, efficient Electrum server that connects to Bitcoin nodes. Lots of Bitcoin related stuff, but this is because you should be able to run your own Bitcoin node. You can run your own Ghost self-hosted blogging platform, Vault Warden for your password managers. I mean, the list is endless. You can run Strudel, which I have no idea what the fuck it is, but it's for Nostr. SimpleX, file browser, Synopsys, Jellyfin, Nostr Relay in Rust, Nostr RS based. Start 9 pages. Start 9 pages. It's to create Tor websites hosted on your personal server. Burn after reading. Share messages and files that are destroyed after they are viewed. You have very nice, simple amount of apps. And that's what's important. Sometimes people that's all they need. They just need stuff that works. And then if you want to go like this complete, these minis are super good. I have them. They're great. They're great. Honestly great. I have no idea what the fuck this is, and I don't know why it costs $1,500, so they can suck my balls on that one. But just get one of these. Don't get the N1 processors, whatever they're called. They're bad. Those are not good. But just get like this. These are great. I have these. I mean, honestly, for a Ryzen 7, $259. These are seriously super sick. If you want the Ryzen 5 and it's a little bit better for the 6, they're then or $400. I mean, that's killer. Quad core, quad screens. PCI 4 point whatever, just max 24 terabytes. That's crazy. That's what I'm saying, man. Just buy one of these and just fucking put it in there. I'm telling you, when my server was sucking power, I also bought an enterprise server too that was very fucking expensive. Not to buy, but just to run. It was like, I did the math, it was like going to cost me like $40 to $50 a month in electricity. I'm like, damn, I might as well just get something in the cloud, brother. Because why am I spending $50 a month to run it at home? And it also lacked the sea of... It's a long story, but I want to fight HP, essentially. Don't buy enterprise rack servers. I'll just put it that way. So, I mean, those are really great options. Just Umbrel's a great option. Start 9 is a great option. Getting these fucking GM techs... I would not expose these to the internet, by the way. You don't know if they're like updating their firmware or their microcode or anything. And I would not trust it. But I would trust it on my local area network, firewalled and locked down. Locked in and locked down is what I would say. What I'm hosting in general is I host my own media. I host my own calendar server. I host my own pictures. I host pretty much everything besides email. And there's some smart stuff that I would like to host at some point. Like I would love to get into smart home. But say it's illegal or it's problematic to host at home, in your house, in your country, in your place of domain, Ligma, whatever the fuck it may be. It's if it's hard and if not impossible to do this, and I promise I don't own KYC.NetMe, and I do not own, and I have no affiliation with them. After this, you should talk about secure routers. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. There's no such thing as a secure router. I'm just kidding. I mean, this is gonna disappoint a lot of people. I use UniFi. UniFi's great. I looked into OpenWrt, OpenWRT, and OpenWrt, and I was like, I don't need any of that. I'm not gonna lie. OpenWRT is great. The only thing I don't like UniFi is their proprietary, but they let me self-host the controller. Everything's self-hosted. Like, I self-host the controller, I self-host everything. No cloud, no infrastructure, all local. But it just works. I would love it. I mean, if I used OpenWRT or pfSense or OpenSense or Giant Tomato, absolutely, I would love it. I use a fucking travel router that has OpenWRT on it. But there's Moneroka. You want to find something that that supports Monero? They're awesome. They have some pretty good options when it comes to what accepts Monero, what uses Monero, kind of like that, but there's some servers. You got to be very careful when you do this, because you remember, these guys can rug pull the fuck out of you. So do your research. None of these are above an 8. Put that into perspective. There's MyNumBox, a hosting solution service for domain registration, DNS parking. We do not require any personal information. You can pay with Bitcoin. Never use Brave Tor, by the way, for anything serious. Completely retarded. By the way, I even looked into. There was another router I kind of wanted to get. There's another router company that was open source. It was like an enterprise router. I was like, this is kind of cool. So let's see, what's their pricing? You can get your domain price here, but again, you got to trust these people. They could quite literally fucking pull your shit. You can get some domains. They can pull your shit whenever the fuck they want. VPS, you can put it in Germany. Shared hosting in the right here. We get it. 3,000. Okay. Wait. Oh, I forgot. Europe assholes fucking put the comma there, so my American brain kicks in. I'm like, 3,000 a month. $3.50. Shared hosting is always going to be cheaper. Dedicated. I mean, $3 for 15 gigs of storage, 200 gigs of traffic, free SSL via Let's Encrypt. I mean, that's not really a. If anyone charges you, man, can they stop doing that? €4. That's pretty cheap. 40. I mean, like, if you don't need a lot of storage, this is honestly, you could definitely do that. You could just do like fucking now if you just need a backup solution, there is run on Flux is cheap. Again, I would 100% I would 100% encrypt everything before I fucking put it back up here. You know what I mean? I would never do anything that would compromise the security of anything. I don't think it's necessarily, it's too new, if that makes sense. I know they've been around for a while, but it's, hell no. I don't like companies that make me do cookies. But you could do Flux Drive. Say you needed something. There's also Storage A as well. The pricing is pretty cheap. Even TrueNAS supports this, by the way. Kind of funny as a backup solution. $40 a terabyte a month, paid annually. No ingress or API fees. The fastest storage and media access. I can look at the minimum footprint. But the pricing is pretty cheap. $15 a terabyte. So you could do like really cheap. Distributed globally across tens of thousands of storage locations, constantly fast worldwide. There's even, if they're still around, this is a cool concept. For people that haven't been on the stream, it's end-to-end encrypted data storage in the cloud. They use it's built on TalFS, and TalFS is cool. I would still encrypt everything. So $6.50, you can store up to 30 gigs of months of data. For example, you could store about 30 gigs for 1 month for $6.50, or 10 gigs for 3 months, or 3 gigs for 10 months. The private storage, navigate to it. They choose to buy a storage time browser option. Enter the payment information. We accept debit card and credit cards at this time. No Monero option. Just keep that in mind. But use just fucking prepaid debit card. Archival, active, accessible backups and archive when cost is most critical. Monthly storage, $6 a terabyte. Ingress, 2 gigs. Always think about that ingress. Frequently asked questions, just no. We talk about 75. I mean, it's not that expensive. And even Flux Drive. Flux Drive is fucking cheap. You store 10 gigs. 50 cents a month. 50 gigs gives $2 is $2.50 a month. I would just do like maybe Flux Drive. That's not too bad. There's also Filen. End-to-end encrypted cloud storage, super fucking cheap. Say you just need, you can start for free, but again, do your fucking research. And the fucking chat thing is super weird, effortless. I don't like the chat thing. The notes, it's just weird. But I've heard good things about them. Where's their price? They give you 10 gigs of storage completely free. We do not charge for encryption and any other features. You only pay for additional storage. Something to think about. They had a price. They had a lifetime license you could buy for like, I think like $100 or something. $30, and it gave you like 100 gigs, and it was lifetime. They had a pricing thing here. Here it is. So they have a lifetime right now. 50 bucks, 200 gigs of storage, unlimited bandwidth, unlimited uploads, client-side encryption, zero knowledge technology, syncing, network drive, file share, blah blah blah. That's pretty good. 50 bucks. And you could just, 200 gigs, you could. The problem with lifetime storage is if this company goes out, you're going to be very pissed. So, but you could just take everything, encrypt it again yourself just to be sure, and then upload it. There's even something called Cryptomator, free and open source cloud storage encryption, if you're that worried, for your phone. What's English? So, notes. Back to notes. Flash drive is self-hosting. Have multiple backups. RAID is not a backup. Encrypt everything. Cloud is okay if you can encrypt to cloud, and if cloud is open source. Is open source, no vendor lock, like no long-term contracts. Is a plus would be if it could accept Monero. If they can't, it's not a deal. If it's not a deal breaker for you, it's whatever. It'd just be better. But KYBC, not me. The trust is 58 with them, 58 with them. They're the two best options. I've heard good things about them as well, though. SporeStack, they're 60, kind of green. Terms explicitly KYC, abuse policy. Maliciously activity, port scanning, hacking, copyrighted material will result in server termination. That's fine. Token deletion. Inactive tokens and deleted after a specific attempt. 1 year for $1 balance. 5 years any balance. Users are advised to not treat it as bank for long-term storage. I think that says data for law enforcement. While privacy-oriented, SporeStack may comply with law enforcement requests and cannot always fight legal requests in court. They have public law enforcement frequent ask custodies, but they have no KYC. I've heard good things about SporeStack. Their pricing is pretty chill. Also, GPU market rate for 1 gig VPS with IPv4 access to 25 gig sticks. 1 VCP 1 terabyte of transfer monthly is generally $5 per month. Now $6 on DigitalOcean. SporeStack is almost double SporeStack is almost double market rate. We currently apply roughly 80% markup on Resolve server prices. It's a little higher on months, more than 28 days. This is obviously sustainable, and if it's too much, we have some alternative cryptocurrency hosts listed at the bottom. You may or not be cheaper. We do not plan on offering true monthly billing at some point. We do plan on offering true monthly billing. So they're probably trying to make their money per $30. $4. Flavors, these tables don't explain all the details. Some of them have fast CPUs than others. Some have MVs instead of SATA SSDs. Some have more on disk. They're kind of just the intermediate option to make their money. SporeStack is a VPS. You can pay with Monero, Bitcoin, Cash, and start launching the servers. No KYC, know your customer. No email required. Account funds are held on a token. You can launch a few servers from the website or CLI. Use our API to launch. Manage thousands of servers. We've been around since 2017, and we're proud to on our track record. I just launched a server that's online. It's SporeStack free speech host. It's possible that Vultr and DigitalOcean might be uncomfortable with hosting certain free speech content. While we can't give any guarantees at the time, they say of 2014 background since 2017, we've never knowingly had a single server blocked. Why doesn't they host in-house? Mainly because in-house hosting is a huge undertaking. That's true. We don't do it. We've done it before, and we could do it again, but we've had such good luck with Vultr and DigitalOcean that there's no pressing need for us to do it. So that's something to think about, like self-hosting. All new servers block out outbound access for port 25. Can I set up a Tor relay? Yes, but only guard and middle node. We get hassled way too much over exit nodes. They get DMC notice. True. So things to think about. Can you torrent? StoreStack complies with local laws, generally U.S., where the server is located and not U.S. We received a valid DMCA complaint. We will delete your server without a refund, period. This is not a seed box. There's lots of torrent-friendly VPNs and seed boxes, more likely for less money and less hassle, even if you have a server. This is just more of a service that you can use and work on via what's the word I'm looking for? Via Monero. Like it's just like nice. Like I can do Monero. So, cloud is okay. Can accept Monero. And this just comes down to more of us price and laws. Price/laws. What's cheaper? Is it cheaper to buy server, hardware? You could even go as far as getting a NAS. I used to be a huge Synology fan, and now I would avoid them for a lot of reasons. For anyone that watches this now or later, just go down the rabbit hole of Synology. But there's TrueNAS, and then there's also QNAP, Ugreen, and just a ton of NAS providers. Kind of find just one that fits your needs. There's no recommendation I give besides avoid Synology for lots of reasons. I think Synology has gone down a very dystopian dark path, and I hope they get shit talked into the ground and they reconsider their decision making. Essentially, long story short, it's something to do with hard drives essentially, and it's very shitty of them, and they're kind of lame for that. Beyond that, we will talk about real quick routers. Open source ones. Because if you're self-hosting at home, you should have a good defense. There's a Linux-based something called Voyas. It's an enterprise-grade open source networking platform for bare metal edge of cloud. But there's the most popular one, OpenSense. Or, no, there's pfSense. So pfSense is kind of cool. I've looked into it. It's a nice firewall/router. It's based on FreeBSD, which is based. You could buy these pre-made, or you could build your own. Building your own is super easy. You just need half a 500 megahertz, half a gig of RAM, but the recommended is 1 gigahertz, 1 gig of RAM, and a full install. You can technically build your own pfSense router, super easy, or you can buy one. If you want to support the based people at there, they have Netgate 8300. I mean, their track record's pretty good. You can get even a rack server. You're gonna spend a lot of money though. $1,500, $2,000, $5,000. I mean, these are expensive. Obviously, these are for the gigachads of their home network, but just get a consumer grade one. Consumer's fine. I mean, I would like it'd be kind of cool just to have this in my house because it says Netgate. You ever seen those Google servers that you can buy that have Google's logo on it? That'd be kind of cool, but people charge for them because they have them. But you could just get, honestly, probably get away with this. There's enough ports. You got your WAN, WAN, LAN. You got your serial console. I mean, 2 gigs, router, firewall, about a gig, IPsec VPN, 254. That's pretty good. Dual core, flexible WAN configuration, 4 gigs of RAM. I've heard good things about pfSense. Then there's OpenWRT. The OpenWRTs, you can put it kind of anything. They have their own router now. You can buy it. It's pretty nice. It's an open source project for embedded operating systems based on Linux, the embedded system to route. The main components are Unix, Linux, Muso based, and BusyBox also based. All components have been optimized for small enough to fit into limited storage and memory available home routers. That is the cool thing, is it's like very memory efficient. There's also a Libre router. Ooh, where is it? Why does everyone use fucking Libre? There's the GNU approved router. I think. Linux. There's another one. What is the FSF router? The Think Penguin wireless router. That's funny. The Free Software Foundation. I mean. Alright, this is kind of nice. I should have gotten this. Damn. Do. I can't find it. GNU is an operating system. Richard Stallman, baby. Richard Stallman approved. There we go. There's this. There's something. It's called Libre CMC. It's an embedded GNU Linux distro for devices, very limited resources, while primarily targeting routers. It offers support for a wide range of devices and use case. In 2015, Libre WRT merged with Libre CMC. Pro10 OS is a small, fast distribution for embedded devices. Performance configuration allows binary packages to be compiled, build time, runtime. This would be like if you wanted the operating system for a free and open source router that's more secure. That could be quite possible. And maybe even optimal, especially the more access you have, the better it is. And you could even, in a realistic sense, put a router on anything. I mean, that's kind of like the cool thing about self-hosting is it's a learning experience. I would say running, just start with, Pi-hole is where I started. I mean, in all honesty, I mean, like, Pi-hole is, like, really where I started. Like, learning about what Pi-hole does and how to get it to work, and DNS, and like networking, and etc. etc. It's just been truly the best experience. And now I kind of like self-host everything. I kind of like it. It makes me efficient. It makes me more diligent with my data, where it goes, where it doesn't go. And I encourage people to do it. Honestly, I don't think it's as scary. Even if you start with even if you just do your photos. Doing your photos is better than nothing. In all honesty, I think that's the best thing you can do. Is start with something small. And then you're like, oh, maybe I can self-host my calendar. Maybe I can self-host this. And that's what gives you digital sovereignty. But I've given 2 hours and 3 minutes to you guys. I appreciate everyone stopping by, learning about self-hosting. I hope people in the future watch this and be like, wow, I can self-host too. I can also live like Richard Stallman. Don't forget to argue in the comments what the best banana bread recipe is. I hope you all guys, thank you. I appreciate for liking my content. I appreciate everyone stopping by. Most importantly, comment on the video so that YouTube keeps me relevant and knows that I'm a real person. Don't forget to set your phasers to 69, 420, and I'll see you all in the future.